Okay, I don't know if this is part 3 or 4 of the Cx-7 2.3 liter turbo water pump, but ran into a problem. Last video I showed you I finally got the water pump out. Well, all I actually did was get it out of the hole. I couldn't actually get it out of the car. I tried several different ways to get it out of the bottom and up out of the top. Was not working. So what I found out that made it super simple was right here, the power steering pump. You can see those two bolt holes there on the far right of the hose and the one just left of that hose there. That's the two upper power steering mounting bolts. That bolt you're looking straight down on there is the one that holds the power steering hose on. So you can't get that top left bolt out, but out of the pump, but you can unscrew it enough to remove the pump from the block. So you got those two upper bolts. If you don't want to lose any power steering fluid, just don't disconnect that upper hose. The third one is really tricky. Took me a while to figure out, but basically if you go straight up underneath the middle of the bottom of the power steering pump and feel up underneath there, right behind the pump pulley, kind of down at the middle, you'll feel a bolt right behind the pulley. And the only way I was able to get it off was I used one of my ratcheting box end wrenches here. I got these cool ones that are magnetic on the back, so if you're undoing a bolt or a screw, it stays attached to the wrench. So I got my 12mm ratcheting wrench on there from the front, and then what I did was I reached my hand around, my right hand around from this side of the power steering reservoir, and I was able to stick my index finger into the back of my ratcheting wrench, one to hold it on the bolt, the other to hold the ratcheting mechanism still, so that when the bolt gets loose, you can continue to unscrew the bolt with the wrench. So as soon as it breaks loose, you just hold your finger on the back of the ratcheting part of the wrench, and as you turn it, it allows the wrench to keep ratcheting back and forth because you're holding the ratcheting part still. I don't know if that makes sense, but that made quick work of it for me. And then I didn't even pull the lower bolt out. As you can see, I wasn't able to get this bolt out. But all I had to do was slide the power steering pump back about, I don't know, what is that, an inch maybe? And once I did that, the water pump fit perfectly right up out of that hole. So the power steering pump pulley was just in the way. So once I slid the pump back, water pump came right out. And I did watch a video online of how to replace the thermostat, and you have to pull the pump out of the way to do the thermostat. So I think while I'm here and I've got this loose, I'm going to go ahead and do the thermostat as well. I guess all you have to do is just move the pump out of the way. I got to take that bottom bolt off. But once the power steering pump's out of the way, the thermostat's right below it down in that hole. So obviously you can't get to it with the pump there. Get the pump out of the way, you can get to it. So hopefully that helps you guys out. And then obviously I'm going to put the water pump back in before I reattach the power steering pump. That way it's not a huge pain in my ass. Another thing, if you don't ever work on cars, my dumbass wasn't thinking, and I didn't drain my coolant before, so I don't know if you sensed the panic in my voice when the water pump came out. All the coolant started pouring out onto my garage floor. So good idea to drain your coolant into a clean tray that can handle a gallon or two before you start. That way you don't end up in the same boat I was. So hopefully that helps, guys. Talk to you later.